year is it? Is the remainder of America still Texas too? What year is it? Is the remainder of America still Texas too?
AIDS. Absolute AIDS.
Oi, cunts. Welcome back to the recap. Ahaha. Okay, so a few quick things to get out of the way before I jump into this. Just to inform you of some things, update a couple things. This won't take long at all. I swear. No more update videos, fuck those. A couple things in my personal life I want to inform you of and kind of forewarn you is that scheduling is not really an existent thing here. I used to have this kind of very inline schedule. It was 2 every weekend of every week, and they come out around Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and that is no longer existent, seeing as though I've had some fluctuations here and there. An update to the father situation. He was recently put back in the hospital, and he's having surgery soon, but other than that, things are calm with that situation. Everything's mellowed out a little bit better. Things are looking better at the moment. So there's that. And also with work and that going on and, other varying things, I can't promise any scheduling, nor do I want to, especially when you look at how the ashtray went. I promised 1,000 times on that podcast. That shit ain't happened yet. Yeah. Okay, I need something to hold my fucking hair up or some shit. Fuck it. Knees will work. Yeah. That doesn't look retarded at all. Okay. So, with that being said, just talking about scheduling and whatnot, it just kind of is an iffy situation, so I'm not going to make any promises. Oh yeah, one more thing. Rudy probably won't be joining us this episode to deliver me the news, seeing as though he told me he had other obligations that he had to go tend to. With that being said, let's hit that one more time. Oi, cunts, welcome back to the recap, where I cover random things that I found interesting in the past couple weeks and present them to you. I only have 3 stories for today, but they're quite juicy. First one is quite easy. I don't really need prompting or scripting for this one. Is obviously something that really kind of dug at me a bit. Is the CNN blackmail thing. Now, whether you want to regard it as blackmail or whatever it might have been, here's the rundown of it. Is that Donald Trump, our current sitting president, mind you, decided to post a GIF of him from back when he was premiering himself in WWE. And the scene was pulled from one of the points in time that he punched Vince McMahon. And so a kind Redditor superimposed a image of CNN's logo over Vince McMahon's face and posted it as a GIF onto Reddit. And somehow Trump found this, found it to be amusing, and politely, with the hashtag effing fraud, was it fraud? Oh, fucking no. The point is that he grabbed this GIF and posted it onto his Twitter. Now, the fuck is life? Whew! Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Okay. So, here's my take on that first part of the story of Trump posting that period. Half of me, I'm kind of torn, to be honest. Look, I'm not a big fan of Trump himself, but 2 things. The first part of where I'm torn, the other half, is this is unbecoming of a president, a current sitting president in his office, and this is a bit immature. But the other half of me is, he's shitposting. Our president just fucking memed. Folks, he memed. I can't be mad at that. I'm like, literally, part of me wants to be mature and be like, that's not a good thing. No. You can't be doing that sort of, it's unbecoming of your office. The other half of me is just, fucking, it's a meme. For fuck's sake. That's amazing. I mean, come on, like, I know a lot of people are laughing their ass off about this, and a lot of people are like, tisk tisk. America, tisk tisk. But here's my counterpoint to that, is that if, and this is if, Obama had some sort of like image of him punching something in the face, and he put Fox News's logo over that shit, and posted that on his Twitter while he was sitting in office, again, I would be torn once more, but I would find it equally as funny. If you want to cut it between Republican and Democrat, that's the point of that example. It's fucking hilarious regardless of your political stance. It's just fucking funny. Now, what it means for politics in general, that's a more murky and different argument. But on the basis of humor, to me, it's fucking funny. But then comes our second part of the story, which is less funny until the end, is that, so, people go and find out who this Redditor is. These people being CNN's K-File unit. And they post an article saying how CNN discovered the, let me just do a little bit of Google. This was posted on CNN Politics by K-File, and it was called How CNN Found the Reddit User Behind the Trump Wrestling GIF. Now, the article goes on to say a couple things about how this is what it is, blah, blah, blah. But the point I focus on, now, it's so infuriating to see that the person that they should be validated and maybe going after is the president himself. I mean, one thing that they kept saying was this is pushing violence against the media. I disagree with that, but I can see it as being a more valid argument than going and finding the user that made the GIF, who has no connection to Trump whatsoever other than being a supporter of him. And see, this seems to be something that CNN has a problem with. And a lot of people have a problem with is, in an attempt to disarm Trump himself, they try to go after his base by lump summing and showing, look how bad his supporters are, thusly he's shitty. But that argument's stupid. And this is where I get a little more serious, is when you go after someone's base, when it comes down to politics, you can find bad, toxic people in every base in politics. Whether you are a Democrat or Republican, you can find bad people. You can find people with shitty values and shitty views. You can find, like, I mean, for example, like, Trump had a problem in the election where the KKK openly endorsed him, and he had to denounce that. And another thing that happened was the California Grand Dragon of a chapter of the KKK endorsed Hillary. I mean, these things happen. Bad shit goes down in their bases. No shit. Okay? You've got shitty people in both sides. And trying to lump sum them all together to be like, this is the average Trump supporter, this is the average Hillary supporter, any direction you take that in is stupid. Because it devalues your argument against the man himself. Lump summing the people that supported him, calling them all racist, trash, white, just rednecks, anything that you can conjure up to devalue them and their arguments and their reasoning for supporting him only does good to remove you from the argument. It devalues you and your points. So, and this is yet another example of that. And I mean, I don't hate CNN. I think they've gone wrong a lot in being a bit of a cheerleader this past election, and I think it's just dumb. But here's the thing, is that they had such a fucking high ground here. Like I said before, this can be seen as immature on Trump's part. That is completely obvious. A fucking president, a man who was influential in our political world entirely, like globally, just posted a fucking meme. And it was directed at CNN. And all they had to do was do the simple thing of just say, that's immature, and that's unbecoming of a president. Back to our news day. That's all they had to fucking do. Trump has shown many times that he's not going to take shit from anybody, which can be seen as unbecoming because it can portray him as thin-skinned. Whereas when CNN does it and gets thin-skinned, they're on the same level as him. That's all I'm trying to say here, is that it just doesn't make a lot of sense for them to do this. And then not only after saying, he's apologized extensively, he won't be doing this again, they end the article with one of the worst ways, or in this paragraph, in one of the worst ways possible. Saying, CNN reserves the right to publish this person's identity if any of this should change. Now, regardless of context or how they meant it, they didn't see how this, just a simple removal of that sentence would do them all, it would do them so much good. It would fix so many issues. Okay, I'm not here to debate the age of the guy. I don't care if he's 15, 30. You went and found a inflammatory meme. Trump posted it. You found the Reddit user for some dumb reason. Got an apology out of him. And then seemingly threatened him. Openly in an article. Next story. Woo! So, the next story to recap... Oh, fuck, I'm dizzy. The next story is PewDiePie talking about Wamen. That definitely shows that I watch him more frequently than I lead on to do so. So, recently he put out a video basically waging arguments against the wage gap. And I find it quite fascinating, and this is something I was more fascinated with than anything, and this isn't exactly a story. It's more of just something interesting that happened. I enjoy it when content creators who usually make just kind of neutral content, more in the sense of, yes, it could be offensive, but it's not politically motivated, blah, 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 is that it's like PewDiePie, JonTron, these people. I want to... when they exercise their intelligence or their opinions or their ability to make persuasive arguments, I find it quite fascinating and entertaining to watch because it shows something that you don't always get to see. It's a rarity and it's enjoyable. And that's one thing I really enjoyed about this video. You find that PewDiePie, he's exercised on multiple occasions, not politically, but when the Wall Street Journal came after him, that he is smarter than you might think. And the guy is extremely well spoken. He made these very good critiques and points in favor of saying that, the wage gap doesn't exist. And it's something I disagree with as well. I don't believe it's something... It's part of the reason why I heavily disagree with feminism, but I'm not going to completely jump into my politics right now. Just wait a second. I'll do that another time. But yeah, it's quite interesting. It really is. Is that the whole thing just kind of shows Felix's ability to make persuasive arguments. And I really do strongly suggest you go check out the video. I'll link it. I'll most definitely link it in the description. You can go check it out yourself. He finds this very good mix between comedy, quality, and very actually well-founded arguments. And also showing, his opinion, but in a very relaxed way and seemingly open for discussion. And I like it. It's a very persuasive argument, and I like it. Did I say I like it? 'Cause I fucking like it. Next story, baby. Alright, our final story to cover is definitely a story. And it's more or less kind of an excuse for me to talk about the group Antifa. Anti-fascists. Super edgy. It's people like these that ruin a lot of things. A lot of shit. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and get out of myself. This comes from Germany at the G20 protests. The G20 summit is where a bunch of world leaders meet up to do some stuff. I don't really feel like I need to give preface for this because, I mean, it is what it is. So, the more interesting thing that happened were the protests. And they've always been protested. And this year was no different. But a special group decided to show their ass up and make it shitty for everyone else. I fucking despise Antifa. They are trash. They're human garbage. They're assholes who come in and fuck up peaceful protests and turn them into violent, just, I can't stand them, okay? So they showed up, I think they named the event Welcome to Hell, or some cringy shit like that. And so, as it goes, what'd they do? They made it a fucking problem. They rioted. They caused a major problem. And these people are part of the reason why you lose out on the validity of an argument. These violent assholes are going out and making peaceful protests turn into riots. And they think that they're fighting fascism, when in reality they're aggravating it, or, in worst case, being fascists. For example, Antifa was at the Berkeley riots. Antifa was at the time when Milo had to be secretly escorted away from his event in Berkeley. They're the reason why this shit keeps happening. These violent people keep dressing up in all black, thinking they're badasses, and going out there and causing a fucking problem. Next to all these people who are dressed normally, looking to say, I'm here to stand for my views. Next to that person sits some dumbass in a black outfit, black mask, saying, fight the fascism, man. What kind of fucking stupid fucking piece of arrogant shit are you? Honestly, like, this shit just gets me fucking going. It makes no fucking sense. It pisses me off. Severely. I can't stand these assholes. They think they're badasses. They think they can kick ass, and when someone gives them the proper response of a punch to the face, oh no. Now, am I saying violence at protests is validated for people to come out there ready to fight Antifa with baseball bats? Not exactly. But it's a lose-lose situation, and it's fucking disappointing that these fuckheads keep ending up at these events thinking that they're so amazing. Thinking that they're so righteous. It's honestly sad that protests have devolved into these assholes showing up and causing enough ruckus to just make every other protester that was there for a legitimate, peaceful reason look like a dumbass. Honestly. That should do it for the recap. Yeah, pretty much nothing else. Yeah. Later, cunts.